A missionary named TT would often come to my parents' window at 5:30 a.m., asking for such things like salt, pepper, or magic cubes, saying she forgot to buy these things. She called my mom Black Mommy, and will keep on calling until my mom answered and give her what she asked for, and she would thank my mom. We didn't see TT for a few weeks, and we heard she was very sick and was confessing. My dad became very curious, took a pen and paper, and went to see Ma TT, as my dad was a writer. TT asked about my mom, and my dad said she was home. TT then said, "Your wife has a strong spirit. Every time I woke her up to ask for stuff, she would always give them to me. I was hoping she would refuse so I'd have a reason to attack her spiritually, as I am a member of the Nee Gee Society." The Nee Gee is a water society whose members claim to be wealthy underwater, but they are very poor on Earth. If you found this story as chilling as we did, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more spine-tingling tales. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. TT confessed to killing our neighbor, Roland, who had died about 10 years earlier. Roland was a hard-working man. When my dad asked why she killed Roland, she said it was because he cared about his wife. She said she used to date Roland secretly before he got married. When he got married, he would buy matching gold watch for he and his wife, and they would jog in the community, ignoring TT, and that made her mad. Roland worked at the port, and the story was that Roland and a workmate was taking break. The friend looked away for a few seconds, and when he looked back, Roland was gone. The friend was sure Roland didn't go into the Atlantic Ocean, since they were far from the ocean. He looked for Roland, but couldn't find him. Roland worked for a Swedish company, and they sent divers to search, but they didn't find him. After about 5 days, Roland was found on the seashore at his work, still dressed in his work clothes. His watch was working, his clothes were dry, and fresh blood was coming from his nose. His body was warm. There was no water in his lungs. I was a kid, but remembered TT fainting at the news of Roland's death. At that time, she said Roland was her relative. TT always kept a white bucket by her door. She used to complain to my parents about a particular renter who would pour the water from the bucket on the ground every time she went to sleep. This made TT very mad. TT said the water in the white bucket was holy water, as TT was a missionary for her church. It was that same bucket where TT said Roland spent his last 4 days. She said she would take him around the community at night, showing him his house and telling him about the gold watch. Roland, who was weak, would beg her to let him go, but she told him it was his time. She said Roland was taken from work that same day. He lived for 4 more days and was killed and put on the shores, the same day he was found. When my dad asked why no one saw her or her society members capturing Roland or returning his body, she said members of her society could make themselves invisible and make the victim invisible too. My dad then asked TT what power she had over Roland, since he now knew Roland was not her relative. She said Roland had dated her, which gave her enough power over him. TT lived for only 2 more weeks after that. She confessed her sins, hoping it would save her. My dad said her room smelled terrible as her body was breaking down. After leaving her room, my dad was so very sick he couldn't go to work for 2 weeks. Some people might say that it is dementia, but one thing we need to know is that TT remembered all the dates of the month correctly. Her recent memory was intact. She wasn't just saying random things. She talked about people who had died mysteriously, and she kept her secrets for a long time. She only confessed when she believed her confession would heal her, because she said she was ready to follow the true God. If you found this story as chilling as we did, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more spine-tingling tales. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. And let us know in the comments what you think about TT's confession and the mysterious events in our community. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.